Hello everyone, welcome back to HITC Football, and we have another instalment of Hot Take Tuesday. It's been a whole month of Hot Take Tuesdays. This is the 4th instalment of Hot Take Tuesday, and God, I've seen a lot of hot takes about this, and we need to talk about Liverpool signing Nunez. And just to give you a quick run through, if it's your first time watching Hot Take Tuesday, how does it work? It's very simple. In the comment section down below, you put your hot takes. Can be something that's controversial, something that you think is different, something that you think people are going to find a bit spicy, an opinion, a take that makes you go, You put them down below, I pick them out each Tuesday, I go through them, and then you give me your opinions on them, along with your hot takes for the following week. Simple as. You do your bit, I'll do mine. And this week we've got some stellar hot takes. So let's crack into it with the first one. So yes, it looks like it's confirmed. Liverpool are after signing Nunez from Benfica for 75 million with a potential that it could rise to 100 million. Now, don't get me wrong, with the young Euro grind, you might be like, he's really good. That's 30 goal contributions in the Portuguese league in 28 games, but it's only been one season. The season before he played 29 times, scored 6 goals and picked up 9 assists. Not bad again at all, but it's the Portuguese league, not the Prem. We see so many players come to the Prem. Lukaku, Werner, Sancho, just to name a few. Just because you do it in one league doesn't mean you can go do it in another league. Now, for retrospect, Klopp has said before about spending big money on players. He's kind of being a hypocrite about this with the signing of Nunez. I don't know if it's to compete with City, with, them going out and getting Haaland, but Haaland's done it for like 3-4 seasons now. He's one of the most prolific strikers there are in Europe, and yes, it's still a gamble, but they paid nowhere near 100 million for him. So for me, it just seems like, and here's a hot take that backs it up, thanks to South for this one, Klopp's spending on Nunez is outrageous. I think it is. They could be losing Salah, they could be losing Mane. Let's just get that right. They're key 2 attackers, right there. Yes, they've had Diaz, which has been good. Yes, they've got Jota, who's very good. But it's not Mane Salah level. They could be losing both of them this summer, potentially. Contracts running out, Mane's linked with Munich, Salah's linked with every club in Europe at the moment. So just to get somebody in like Nunez, when you've got options like Gabriel Jesus, which you could bring in for 40-50 million, who we know can do a decent job in the Prem, it'd be quite good in that team. Pulisic is available for about 40-50 million. Yes, he's not fantastic again, but he's got Premier League experience, and his breakout season for Chelsea was brilliant before he picked up that injury in the FA Cup final. Timo Werner, Klopp's came out and praised him I don't know how many times. Get him in then, Klopp, and show him that he's a good system player for you. Nunez itself is a good transfer, but not for 100 million. That just, I don't know, that it's a good hot take. It's something that I think it's Liverpool trying to compete with City. Like imagine City got Haaland and brought in Nunez. It's crazy. Even Raheem Sterling, bring him back to Anfield. He'd come in and do a good job for a couple of seasons while you maybe getting somebody a bit cheaper, or maybe bring up a youngster and work him into the squad for the next couple of years. Sterling's got another, 2 to 3 years of top tier football in it. So yeah, very spicy one, and I'm going to come straight in with this one. That's a 10 out of 10. And while we're talking about the likes of Nunez and Haaland, we have another hot take here from Doogie Douglas. And Doogie Douglas says, Haaland will be to City what Lukaku is to Chelsea. Yes and no, I agree, it's a decent hot take. Now, he's young, there's not as much pressure on him, like Chelsea needed a striker. City won the league and nearly got to a Champions League final. Nearly. Again, without one. Since Aguero's left, they've never had an out-and-out striker like Haaland. He's not needed. This is just like overkill, and I think we can all agree on that. This is like hit marker. They've hit you once and they've hit you again 5 times before you've hit the ground again by signing Haaland. But no, I think if Guardiola does things right and he brings him in, doesn't play him every game, gives him a slow start, let him have a few good games, maybe even there's a lot of cup games and stuff. Now, I'm not saying to play Haaland in the cup, but just don't make him the mainstay. Let him find his feet in the team, because there's a lot of players in their first season can be bad, but he's got that kind of Ibrahimovic-esque sort of, persona about him where I think he'll go anywhere and do well. I don't think he's going to ever be mentally weakened by pressure. But it's a good shout and it's a possibility. City fans will be hoping it's not. The rest of the league will be hoping it is, because the only way they're not going to win the league again is if they have a few stinkers, So good hot take, Dougie. I'll give you a 7.5. Next we have Lyle Cowper, the man with the Leeds badge. Hot take, Ruben Diaz isn't even a top 5 centre-back in the Prem. Okay, fair. So who else is in the top 5? So let's go plain and simple. We got Van Dijk. Everyone's going to agree with that. Rudiger was, but now he's gone. So let's just say he doesn't count because he's left. Thiago Silva, let's say. A lot of people would argue Matip has been very good. Laporte hasn't had an amazing season. Stones hasn't had an amazing season. You got Harry Maguire. The fact that I'm struggling here to actually name the top 5 centre-backs and trying to avoid Diaz. You know, there's a lot of quality in the Prem, don't get me wrong, but Diaz is in that conversation. He wasn't brilliant this season. It wasn't his breakout season. Like last season, he was fantastic. This season gone, not as good, but nah. It's a bit hot-ish, but no, nah, not spicy enough. Most people go, nah, he is. Even if you don't like City, he just is. He just is. We'll give man with a Leeds profile picture 5 out of 10. Next one. I've already seen Chelsea in it, so I'm expecting them comments about Chelsea biased. But hot take from Jacob Lay. Now that may be your name, okay? But I'm not. So Jacob says, hot take, Chelsea will win the Prem next season if they sign a good defender, bring in Gallagher and Broja into the first team. Gallagher, yeah, fair. Bring him in. I don't think that's enough to win the league. You've got City and Liverpool still to do with. You've got Tottenham under Kante under a full season. You've got bloody Newcastle to worry about, in my opinion. Broja as well. I think he's 2 or 3 years off being a man that can win you a Premier League. You know, maybe getting 20 goals a season, 15, 20 goals a season. I don't think he's at that level yet. I don't think anyone can argue that. He's a good, young, promising striker, but it's going to take at least another 2-3 seasons till we can start talking about him in that sense. Maybe another trip away, you know, and then you can talk about Broja in that sense. And then a good defender. Rudiger's gone, Christensen's gone. Azpilicueta has no legs. Thiago Silva is 30, going on 37. Reece James is a wing back. Chalobah's a little bit unexperienced. We need a whole new back line. So, no, Mr. Jacob Lay. Got you. Not bad, but no. 3 out of 10. Here we are with another hot take. And just before we get into that hot take, please, 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 if you're enjoying it, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit that, because I want you to. But if you don't want to, it's perfectly okay. But make sure you hit the bell, make sure you hit the big thumbs up or the thumbs down. It's up to you. Just press one of them. But the most important thing is, make sure you give me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. And also while you're doing that, make sure you put hot take, so I know, because there may be a lot of comments and I have a really, really bad attention span. So make sure you put hot take and put it down below. And you could be like Mr. Yeah, you might be in it next week. But let's crack kicking it with Paul McMullen. Paul McMullen says, hot take, ranking managers by how many trophies they win at top clubs is flawed. Pep is not a better manager than Moyes, he's just a different type of manager. Stick Pep in charge of Palace or Southampton and he sends them down. Ooh, despise. Pep's won it all. Not with City. But we have to remember, Moyes did go to a big club. Now, I know we're talking about Guardiola here, and your main point is that ranking managed by how many trophies they win at top clubs isn't. But it kind of is. You know, the most legendary managers won a lot. Ferguson, Mourinho in his heyday, Ancelotti now and what he did in the past. I think there's some clubs that get in managers that may not be the best manager in the world, but they're the right person for that job and they're the best manager for that job. Like, arguably, I didn't agree with the sacking of Sean Dyche, personally. Do I think Guardiola would have kept Burnley up last season? No, I don't think he would have. I don't think anyone really would have, except Sean Dyche. Do I think that Guardiola could go to West Ham and, you know, show the progression and the promise that they've had under Moyes? Maybe to an extent, but you have to remember there's some managers that just can't do it at big clubs. The way I'm going to answer is this: managers, right? So we've got Mourinho, we've got Pep Guardiola, we've got Thomas Tuchel, we've got Jurgen Klopp. They're what I'd call big team managers. If you've got a really, really big team that have a lot of money, a lot of pressure, a lot of expectation, they're going to handle it better. Then over here, you're going to have Graham Potter, you're going to have Sean Dyche, you're going to have Eddie Howe, you're going to have David Moyes. Very, very functional and maybe can't deal with the pressure and the expectation of being at a bigger club. Brilliant managers, but brilliant at different things and different clubs, if you get what I mean. Yeah, you can use it. I know my viewers are smart. You can unravel that. Paul McMullen, quite a good take. Made me think quite a bit. We'll give you an 8.5. On the topic of Graham Potter, no, not Harry, Graham. Do you think Graham Potter could manage one of the so-called 6 big teams, or maybe next England coach? Great show as always. Stop it, you. But as I was saying, Leo, thank you very much for your hot take. If you click right here, See this? It's going to go... That's a card. So if you click that card, you're going to hear me rant about Southgate and tell you how much I love Southgate so greatly and that Graham Potter would never, ever, ever be able to manage England successfully. So if you want to see more about that, click there. But good hot take, and yes, get Graham Potter in that job now. 9.5 out of 10. And also about the big six, yeah, I think he could. He's a very good manager. He's become quite experienced now. He's been in the Prem for a good couple of seasons. I think he could give it a go. I trust him. So he's one of the most exciting youngest coaches out there. So I think he could do it. He might flop at one of them, but then he could go to another one and do well. But Graham Potter, good coach. Makes sense. Next we got Oscar Z. Oscar Z says... Kante is an overrated purple patch player. Most of the time he is not nearly as good as everyone claims he is. Not world class all season. Players like Fabinho, Rodri, Rice, etc. are just much more consistent. I love N'Golo. I love N'Golo so dearly.
Thank you.
Turn it back to when he won Premier Leagues back to back. One with Leicester, one with Chelsea. Then even 2 seasons after with Chelsea. Brilliant. I think he got overplayed. And I think now they nurse him and they don't play him every game. And that, obviously, if you're not playing every game, you know, like the League Cup final with Liverpool and Chelsea. Kante looked like he made Fred look good. Now, I love Kante, and on his day, he is world class. But I don't see a lot of people calling it out. So, Oscar, that's a good hot take. And as I said, I'm not a Kante hater. I love the man dearly. Literally, I love the man dearly. But he is quite inconsistent. And Rodri and Fabinho and Rice are more consistent. You know we're going to get every time. Kante's going to go out and he's going to be everywhere and win you the match. Better than Rodri, better than Fabinho, better than Rice. Or, on the bad side of it, where is Kante playing? You know what I mean? So, yeah, good hot take, mate. 9 out of 10. Next, we got Enrico Alfonso. And he says, the Premier League is far technically backward compared to all of the other top leagues. I agree with... With the videography, I 100% agree. Now, I can't show clips here because copyright and we don't want to get demonetized. But if you look at, you know, La Liga, and look at their replays and their camera angles and like the quality of their cameras, it is much better. In other ways, I can't really think of it. It's kind of more style and preference and bits and pieces like that. But I think the way the Prem is good for what the Prem is. It's that sort of harder, tougher, more gritty league, and the way we show it kind of works. So I don't really have much to say about that one, Enrico. You kind of baffled me, so I'll give you a 6.9 out of 10. And to end the video, I'm going to my favourite club, and that's Manchester United, the Red Devils. We've got another double hot take. We just had Brentford, so let's do Manchester United to end off the video. Hot take number 1 is from Captain Daz. Hot take, Phil Jones is an over-hated player. The man had an injury that disrupted his career, that stopped him from reaching his full potential. He's put in better shifts than Maguire in the games he has played, and the fact that he hasn't quit football and moved elsewhere shows his determination and that he plays for the badge. He's definitely not one of the best defenders ever. He's not close, but certainly not a bad defender. Alex Ferguson has said, so many people said, right, that Phil Jones were going to be class. Like, he was going to be like the next big thing. He was going to be like a midfield maestro. Then he was going to be the best defender ever. He was the English Maldini. But that injury really did just make you forget about him. And he's came back, and yes, the games he played, he's been half decent. He ain't been bad, but as you know, they've got Maguire and Varane. Like, I know Varane was quality, but he's been terrible at United as well, in my opinion. He hasn't had a regular run in the team, so I guess there's that side of things. Kind of the same as Eric Bailly. United are just struggling with centre-backs. Chelsea is strikers, Manchester United is centre-backs, and yeah, I agree. I think he is overhated, but I think there's a difference between hating and then like kind of, you know, ripping in, memeing somebody. Play the, you know, Phil Jones face montage. But it's not really a hot take, really. I don't think he's hated. I don't think anybody... I hate Phil Jones. I hate him. I don't think anyone's like that. Decent, mate. We'll give you a 4 out of 10. And the last one on the video to finish it off. Here we go. David Ross. Hot take. Pogba was very good at Man United. Sorry. It was just a group of pundits who decided to gang up on him, which turned the public perception against him. They went against his effort, and then the stats showed he was the best presser in the team after Lingard. Was he? Maybe I've been brainwashed by Graham Souness just saying how much he hates Pogba. I'm not going to say he was very good. At times, he was extremely good. The rest of the time, he was subpar. It wasn't the most amount of money. We've seen much bigger transfers since, but there was just a lot of expectation on Pogba, and he was insane for France and insane for Juventus before coming back to United. You know, we had Stormzy rapping about him, we had Mourinho in music videos, and I'm not being bad. Like, Pogba and Mourinho was never going to work. And I just think that it's one of them things. There was too much pressure put on him. When he did turn up, everyone was like, yeah, wow, brilliant. But he's just inconsistent. I don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong. Pogba on his day is one of the best centre mids in the world. I don't care what anybody says. On his day, he is class. But it's not his day very often. But you know what day is often? Tuesday. And that's when we will have the next episode out of this. Next Tuesday, so make sure you're here for it. Make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you leave that beautiful hot take down there, because I need it. I need it. Give me the hot take. Give me it. I hope you enjoyed it. Bit all over the place. I don't know. You let me know. Red Boy, HITC Football. See you again on Thursday. Bye.